Greetings, YouTube. Welcome to Late Game. I am Long Game Hunter, and this is the Banner Saga. A glorious bit of gorgeous interactive fiction developed by Stoic, a group of guys who used to work at BioWare. And that's a studio well known for its emphasis on engaging stories. And yeah, we're going to be running through this as a Let's Play. If you were to describe this as XCOM meets FTL meets Game of Thrones, then I think you would have a pretty good idea of what we're in for as a game. I have not played it through to completion, though I have made it a fair way through, and, well, look at it. It's gorgeous, and I could not wait to get to playing it again, especially when I heard news that Banner Saga 2 was coming soon. In fact, I believe it's actually past its projected release date already, but that just means it'll be here all the sooner. So I think it's time to actually finish this game. The story in the Banner Saga changes based on the choices you make. You will occasionally switch between lead characters, witnessing the story unfold from different perspectives. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survived through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped: the sun. Ah. Love the soundtrack. Incidentally, you can purchase the soundtrack as well, and oof, yeah. I may just
It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the varl human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
You gotta love just how quickly they set up the feeling of a really deep world. Really rich background of high fantasy. And some of it, of course, is the animation. Some of it are the art choices. A lot of it is the soundtrack, but just the small details. One of which is the design choice that basically places you in command of things not human right from the beginning of the game. Now this first scenario is largely on rails, so I'm going to run through it pretty quickly. But yeah, just think about that for a second. There are humans here. In fact, you'll play humans later, but they decided to have the first race that you're in charge of in the game be these giant horn-headed varl. Something completely different from anything you've seen in any other fantasy setting. Well, mostly different. So, alright, you've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now looking at a tougher fight than they bargained for. Drag around the screen, see your surroundings. Alright, these portraits show the order of initiative, taking turns from left to right. Your allies are blue, the enemy is red. It's your turn to act. Fantastic. Alright. Movement happens before the action. This guy is known as a shield banger. And blue tiles around him show where he can move. And this is basically what I meant by the XCOM part of it. It's similar but different, but still pretty cool. So, alright. We're going to have him... Yeah. Now, varl fill more than one tile. The horned allies are a race of giants called varl who take up 4 tiles each, while humans fill a single tile. This can have a huge impact on your strategy. Click the tile you want to move to, then on the check mark to confirm. Now, how much on rails is this? It's pretty thoroughly on rails. Fantastic. Okay. Moving forward. Just the animation, just the hand-drawn animation of this. Such another wonderful design choice that really enhances. To target an enemy, click the tile on which they stand. Any tiles are blue. Ally tiles. The tiles are blue. The enemies are red. Target this enemy now by clicking his tile. Again, very thoroughly on rails, but that's fine. Choose to either attack the enemy's strength or break his armor. The numbers beneath each icon show the damage you will do to each stat. In this instance, pretty much no reason not to go for the kill here, so let's do that. Strength counts as both health and damage. Another really cool idea, the idea that as you get more wounded, you're not quite as effective in combat. A cool little idea that was incorporated by the designers. Loss of 2 strength means you'll now do 2 less damage. If strength falls to 0, the character falls in battle. Do apologize. I had to cough there. Hopefully I hit the mute button in time. Armor blocks strength damage, but can be reduced by a break attack. By breaking armor, you open them up to take more damage in the future. Enemy only has 5 strength remaining. Strength attack will kill him. So yeah, pretty much no reason not to go for the automatic kill. I can pump more damage into it, but there's really no need in this instance. Down he goes. It's down. Each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. After taking an action, your turn ends. Next up is the enemy. Turns always alternate, even if you are outnumbered, which is another odd design choice. Like in an instance like this, it does mean that while you're outnumbered, you do still kind of have a built-in advantage. But it means that, like, if 4 of your allies are going up against 2 of them, it makes it a little bit more difficult to strategize around the type of things they can be capable of when they're essentially taking 2 turns for every 1 of your allies. Despite being at full strength, the chieftain will do little damage against your shield banger's high armor. There we go. Oh. Did he? Oh yeah, I guess he did a little return damage too. That's kind of cool. Alright, so now it's your Warhawk's turn. He appears to be out of range of these enemies, but all characters can use willpower to boost their actions. Willpower is a limited resource, so use it wisely. By clicking on gold tiles, a character can move further than usual at the cost of 1 willpower per gold tile. Red pulsating tiles beneath your enemy show how close you'll have to get in order to be in range. Move your Warhawk into attack range now. There we go. Standard attacks only affect a single enemy, but your Warhawk has a special ability that gives him a unique advantage. Click your Warhawk's tile to activate the ability. Tempest. Fun times. Let's murderize. Alright, now you go into a mode called Pillage, and this is where it goes into the more standard, he gets a turn, then both my allies get a turn type play mode. And again, interesting design choice, maybe one of the few that I disagree with, but you know, it definitely creates a certain type of play. So that made quick work of the Chieftain's bodyguards. When there is only one enemy left, players enter Pillage mode. During Pillage, each character moves in order, and there are no more guaranteed turns that click the initiative. Okay, so basically what I just said. If a character does not move on his turn, he can rest to regain 1 willpower. Chieftain will rest this turn, which is a mistake. I mean, seriously, do you think you're getting out of this? Alright, looks like the Chieftain is in some trouble. No kidding. Shield Banger won't be able to finish the job with a normal attack, but willpower can be used to boost your damage. Click the Chieftain's tile to attack. And there we go. We're going to put him down. Down he goes. Alright. Foes lying dead at your feet would regret... oh man, that moves fast. Alright. Some additional renown.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this?
And then we go into some more
fool
world
ourselves
building.
believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and varl slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his lust. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
It is also interesting to note that another interesting choice is that in the world building, humans aren't the eminent race. The varl are. And think back on all the fantasy you've read, and how many times humans are kind of the dominant race. Well, only ones in which that isn't really the case that I can think of are the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And that's about it. Now, my comment section is probably going to fill up with a bunch of people telling me, "Oh, well, there's this and this and this," but really, if you're not well read, you've probably only read a couple of fantasy series and the Lord of the Rings. And Lord of the Rings is really the only one where humans aren't dominant. So you're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eric, steward of the Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? Down to business. I'm sure you'll get it, if not more. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. Seems a bit chaotic around here, Eric. It's been worse. We've had a lot of irons in the fire. What does he want, exactly? Skulfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. Was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Alright, let's go to the market. Again, heavily on rails, but it's alright. They gotta build the world. Let me handle this. You meander through rows of open-face houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Had, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scoufling's chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Had. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try to kill you this time. They don't talk to me. I don't have the patience for this. Hod sweats visibly, fumbling with some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everybody thinks I'm getting worked over every week, how am I supposed to know much? Just a little food money, yeah? He has a point. You toss a sliver of silver on the table. Both men look at you with surprise. Had gestures meekly to a variety of junk from his stall. Take whatever you like. Only thing I'd like is the name of a place. Nobleman, up by the east wall, but that was months ago, last I know. Had skulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Grunolf, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No, just bought 'em while you were walking around. Why? You look like a frog. Better than an eggplant. Gunolf goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seemed unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Hod, but he used to be Skulfing. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall. Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Shouldn't we have an approach of some sort? What a luxury. Come on, you've already mopped up worse today. It's interesting. I don't remember seeing him actually swinging a sword, but whatever. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. But yeah, among the ways that this does some wonderful world building is, sure, you've got the main town here, and like there's some decent effort put into the design of the place, but if you look in the back there, up near the top left, you can see a completely different town in the background, and that actually works pretty well. When we actually get to the world map, you'll see there's another town not far up the coast. And so yeah, it's just another really interesting detail and attention to detail that makes this feel like such a phenomenally well sculpted world. Mead House. You arrive in front of what must be Nobleman. A few minutes later, Eirik appears, with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eirik says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking through the front door? They ran to a mead house, says Valgard. I'll be surprised if they can stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken scalfings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. Alright, and here we go. Combat that isn't thoroughly on rails. And it looks far more intimidating than it ends up playing out to be. So, alright. Unit to deploy them into any one of the blue tiles. So yeah, you get to deploy first. So what I want is, I do kind of want him to have some... Yeah, I think that'll... Actually, let's put him back a little bit, give him a little bit of protection. Alright. When all units are satisfactorily deployed, click the ready button to start the battle. There you go. Alright, now, does it show you? Yeah, it does, okay. Alright, so it also shows you where they're capable of moving. So we definitely want to set our guy up so that he isn't going to immediately be jumped on by everybody and their mother. So let's have them come to us. There we go. And yeah, all right. Set us up some good strategic options for response. And it does put us in kind of the same position that the other that I was mentioning before, where we're going to get more turns than the enemy does just by virtue of how combat in this plays out. So we get to kind of maneuver around while they're kind of cumbersomely planting themselves for battle. Alright, so what we're gonna do here, he can get up and do some real nasty stuff here. So we're gonna drop him here. And actually, I think we're going to go into Stonewall first, which will give him a little bit of added protection against some of the things that people are going to try to do to him. Who is next? That guy's next. So if I were to bring him over here, I have the potential to do some damage. So we're gonna... Yeah, we're gonna see if we can't bring his strength down a little bit. And then we're gonna bring this guy over here to create some additional support. And I'm gonna keep this guy down a bit. Alright. Now we can start getting this guy into position to flank and really mess up the worlds of some meanies. Oh, dang it. I was not taking that into account. Alright. So this guy could actually just myrtleize him straight off the bat, too. And I'm thinking that's probably a good idea. Well, or I could... Yeah, want to encourage them to attack from this side where my shielded units are. So I can still take this guy down, so let's do that. Alright. I kind of want to pull this guy back, though. Who goes next? There's that guy. And then my nasty unit. Okay, so... who's going next? Okay, this guy over here is going next. And then the guy right next to him. Okay. Alright, so yeah. What I'll do is I'll pull him back. And we'll rally. Rally him. And give him a little extra willpower back. Again, we're gonna knock his armor down a little. And now this guy gets the opportunity to come in and start messing with people's faces. To adjacent enemies, starting from target and going clockwise. So we're gonna go here. And we're gonna hurt these two. Earn ourselves a promotion. Awesome. Okay, they're really going after him, and can't say I blame him. He's a hell of a damage dealer. So let's, again, take this guy down and encourage them to keep attacking from the side with our shield bearers. Let's see. This guy's going to come back around. He's a bit of a damage dealer, too. First that guy, then that guy. Well, yeah, we need to start dealing with the guy, so we're gonna have him come over here and attack him. Let's see if we can't bring his strength down a little bit, keep him from doing too much damage the next time he gets an attack. Oh, that's starting to look pretty painful. All right. Pull him forward a little bit more. Advance the line. And keep going for the armor. Alright. And can we do the Tempest again? We sure can. Awesome. Well, that didn't do anywhere near as much damage. That's not good news. And since this guy's a shield banger, anytime anybody hurts him, they're going to take a little bit of armor damage too, which is fantastic. It does mean that this guy got through our shield wall. So, but that's fine. That's fine. I think we've pretty much got this in the bag right now. Oh, they are really going after him. I mean, they kind of have to, but... well, yeah. Gonna need to take this guy out. Deflected. Good. Good. Alright. Again, I should probably be using my willpower a little bit more, but I haven't really seen much in the way of need for it so far. And I have a feeling that's going to really bite me in the ass here before too long. Let's put another guy down, shall we? This guy is a beast. Absolute beastie. Alright, so who's going next? That guy's going next. Okay, so let's take him out. Let's mess with his day. Hey, he got a promotion. Awesome. Alright. Time to put you down. And down he goes. That's what happens when you wear green, apparently. Down you go. I should probably have spread the experience out a little bit more, but that guy was such a beast. I do kind of want to keep him getting more and more beastly. But if I remember correctly, I can't even remember if he stays with us. It's been a while since the last time I picked this game up. This game was released back in 2014, so you gotta kind of forgive me. Alright, there they are. Gods be damned, I've gotta go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hall's windows onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Vognir. Next for Varl kingship last we spoke. The other flag? Looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long. Ah, things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying, everything's fine here, when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? Well, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? What is it? If you happen to stall our guests down on the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eirik and Valgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eirik tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Yeah. And again, just cannot get over how good the soundtrack, the score is. A familiar varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version, tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. Gods, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there is Vognir, there must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks? At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorundra demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Aberrang, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden Wolf, head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son Luden, don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? I have the distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was headed there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where's Mogr, Hakon? Have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few. Others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mogr. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think? And looking at time, I think I'm going to call this episode there. Having finished the part of this that is so thoroughly on rails and kind of given everybody a glimpse into the world we're going to be delving into. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke of so highly. And indeed, I think we're going to do that. But we're going to do that in the next episode. This has been The Late Game. I'm the Long Game Hunter, and I'll see you next time.